The movie begins with a woman named Mary and her husband. One day, her husband takes his son, Stephen, in the car to drop him off at a boarding school. Stephen has grown up and has been causing many problems at home, so his father decides to send him away to school, where he would only see him during school breaks. Stephen is Mary's stepson, not her real son. As they leave, Mary watches from the house and says goodbye. She tells Stephen she loves him, but Stephen doesn't want to go. He's very angry about being sent away. While they're driving, Stephen argues with his dad and suddenly grabs the steering wheel. This causes a serious car accident. 6 months later, Stephen is living with Mary. The crash left him paralyzed, and his father died in the accident. Stephen can barely move, so Mary takes care of him completely. She feeds him, gives him water, changes his clothes, and helps him with everything. She has become his hands and feet. One day, while Mary is at work, a young boy named Tom is brought to her. Tom is an orphan. He doesn't speak and has emotional problems. Mary is a psychologist, so she begins helping him, and he slowly starts to get better. But then, the social worker tells Mary that Tom will be moved to another city. Mary is upset and asks, why? He's getting better here. The social worker explains that Tom hurt a classmate at school and broke the boy's arm. Because of that, they have to send Tom somewhere else to start fresh. Mary strongly disagrees with the decision, but she has no authority to stop it. Tom is upset about leaving Mary because he feels safe with her. Before he leaves, Mary goes home, gets him a scarf and hat, and gives them to him. She has grown very attached to him. That night, while helping Stephen bathe, Mary suddenly has a dark thought. She imagines drowning him. She feels tormented by the burden of caregiving. But then she snaps out of it and realizes it was just a dream. Later, Mary hears knocking at the door. She goes downstairs but finds no one. The sound comes again, from outside. She steps out, looks around, but sees nothing. She follows the sound to the garage, where she finds her car window shattered, and Tom inside. Mary is shocked to see Tom and wonders how he got there through the snow. But despite her surprise, she's happy to see him because she's deeply attached to him. She brings him inside, warms him up, and calls the police to inform them that Tom is with her. Mary leaves Tom in the house and goes to her bedroom to make the call privately. But suddenly, the door slams shut behind her. She grabs the spare key and quickly unlocks it, only to find Tom gone and the front door wide open. She rushes outside, calling Tom's name, searching everywhere, but he's nowhere to be found. The next day, a police officer visits Mary's house, and she tells him everything that happened. The officer promises to begin a search for Tom. Mary goes back to caring for Stephen and continues her daily routine. She keeps calling the police and the social services center for updates on Tom, but there's no news. No one knows where he is. That night, while sleeping, she hears knocking again. She checks downstairs but sees nothing. The sound comes from outside. She steps out, hears strange, eerie noises, and rushes back inside to shut the door. But she realizes she slammed it on someone's hand. She quickly opens the door again and finds Stephen in his wheelchair, his hands injured. Suddenly, Mary wakes up. It was another dream. She is clearly starting to lose her grip. Later, a teenage boy, about Stephen's age, comes to Mary for therapy. He's going through puberty, has become aggressive, feels bored with life, and is frustrated because his parents are about to separate. Mary tries to help him, but he refuses to cooperate. His father, Doug, later meets with Mary and says his son is difficult to handle. Mary replies, "Give him some time, and he'll be fine." Doug is attracted to Mary and asks her out. They agree to meet for a date. That night, Mary sits next to Stephen, holding a newspaper with a photo of Tom, feeling deeply worried and scared for him. Just then, she hears knocking inside the house. She's startled, and suddenly, Stephen grabs her hand tightly. She struggles and finally manages to place his hand back in his lap. The next day, Mary talks to her psychiatrist friend and explains everything she's been going through: the strange noises, the hallucinations, the disturbing dreams. The doctor tells her, "It sounds like you're not getting enough sleep." Mary replies, "It's not just that. Something strange is happening." Her colleague, Dr. Wilson, adds, "You've been through a lot lately, especially with the exhausting care you're giving Stephen. It's affected your mental state. I want you to get a blood test so I can prescribe something to help you sleep." After the call, Mary goes to collect the laundry. As she walks through the house, she notices a table has been moved. Behind it, there's a small door leading to the basement, slightly open. She closes it and moves the table back in place. That night, Doug comes over. They talk about their worries, and Mary tells him she's very concerned about Tom and wishes she knew if he was safe. After their conversation, Doug leaves and Mary goes to sleep. But in the middle of the night, she wakes up to loud knocking inside the house. She feels dizzy and her vision is blurry. She looks towards Stephen's room and finds his bed empty. Panicked, she searches the house, but her sight remains foggy and she keeps hearing strange sounds. When she reaches the basement door again, it's open. She moves the table and opens the door completely. Suddenly, a small child's hand grabs hers. Terrified, she pulls away and slams the door shut, pushing the table back over it. She collapses on the floor and falls asleep there. In the morning, the first thing she does is rush to check on Stephen, since his bed had been empty the night before. She finds him in bed, but notices scratches on his face. Mary called Dr. Wilson again and told him what had happened. He said, "You're not getting enough sleep. What you're experiencing are just hallucinations caused by sleep deprivation." Mary replied, "Even the scratches on Stephen's face. Are those hallucinations too?" Wilson answered, "Maybe you scratched him by accident. I'll try to speed up your blood test results so I can prescribe medication as soon as possible." Mary agreed. She then placed Stephen in front of the TV and saw a public announcement about Tom, urging anyone with information to call the numbers listed. Seeing Tom's picture made Mary feel deeply sad. That night, she heard knocking sounds coming from the basement. She went down to check but found nothing. As she returned upstairs, she was startled to see Doug standing in front of her. Shocked, she asked, "What are you doing here?" Doug said, "I came to check on you. Are you okay?" Mary coldly replied, "I'm fine. You could have just called instead of coming over." She then told him she was busy and asked him to leave. Afterward, Mary returned to the basement, trying to open the locked door, but she couldn't find the key. At that moment, she received a Skype call from Dr. Wilson. He said, "The blood test results are back. Your blood is full of the medication your son takes. Why are you taking his medicine?" Mary replied, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't take any medication." Wilson said, "Well, the test says otherwise. You've been taking your son's medicine." Frustrated, Mary said, "Sorry, I have something important to do," and ended the call. She then went back to the basement and tried to break the lock. Meanwhile, Wilson happened to look at Stephen's wheelchair and noticed it was empty. Then he saw Stephen walk past him, perfectly fine, not paralyzed at all. Wilson immediately realized something was very wrong. At the same time, Mary finally managed to open the basement door, but the power suddenly went out. She quickly grabbed a flashlight and looked inside. To her horror, she found Tom locked inside the room. Panicked, she tried to flee but found Stephen standing in front of her. He struck her, and she lost consciousness. When Mary woke up, she found herself tied up in the bathtub, with Stephen sitting beside her. He began talking, saying he loved her too much to be apart from her. That's why he had caused the accident with his father. He had been willing to die, but he wouldn't let her go. He said he loved her like a mother and didn't want to share her with anyone. It turned out that he had locked Tom away because he felt jealous of the attention Mary was giving him. Stephen was obsessively in love with her. He had also been drugging Mary's drinks with his own medication to make her sleep at times, allowing him to move freely around the house. Meanwhile, Wilson was driving to Mary's house and trying to call the police. Back at the house, Mary managed to grab some shampoo and used it to slip her hands free from the ropes. She rushed to the basement to rescue Tom. When she arrived, she found Stephen had tied up Tom and was holding a knife and a hammer, ready to kill him. Mary tried to reason with Stephen, but he was completely unstable. She grabbed a gun and pointed it at him. But Stephen smirked and said, "By the way, the gun is empty." Mary struck him in the face with the gun and ran to untie Tom. As she freed him, Stephen lunged at her again. She told Tom to run as fast as he could. Once more, she tried to calm Stephen, saying, "Don't kill Tom. I'll stay with you." But Stephen refused, saying, "No, I'm going to kill him." Mary ran out and locked the basement door, then hid with Tom. But Stephen broke down the door and started searching for them throughout the house. At that moment, Wilson arrived and entered the house, calling out for Mary. She couldn't respond. Suddenly, Wilson came face to face with Stephen, who immediately stabbed him. Stephen then went upstairs to look for Mary and Tom. As Mary tried to escape, she found Doug's lifeless body outside the house. She also found Wilson, barely alive. With his dying breath, he told her, "Stephen has a psychological disorder. He's dangerously attached to you. Tell him whatever calms him down and get Tom away from here. If Stephen catches him, he'll kill him." Then Wilson died. Mary did what the doctor said and tried to run away with Tom, but Stephen stopped her. She said, "Stephen, I was looking for you. Look, Tom is gone." It's just you and me now, like you wanted. But please, don't hurt him." Stephen shouted, "You're lying. You don't love me. You love Tom more." Mary stayed calm and said, "Okay, give me your hand." Then she put his hand on the hot stove. Stephen got angry and tried to hurt Mary. But Tom, who was watching from above, made a noise to distract him. Mary quickly grabbed a frying pan and hit Stephen on the head. She picked up Tom, and they ran out of the house. Stephen chased them all the way to the river. At the river, Mary begged Stephen not to hurt Tom, but Stephen was too strong and started to push Tom under the water. Mary cried, "Stephen, please stop! Don't kill him! I promise I'll stay with you!" But Stephen didn't listen. Mary had no choice. She found a hammer and hit Stephen on the head. He fell into the river and died. Mary had saved Tom. After that, Mary left the town and moved to a new city. She even adopted Tom and raised him like her own son. And that's how today's movie ends. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.